about Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. We'll try to, with the mercy of the Acharyas, with the mercy of the spiritual master, we'll try to discuss further on these lines. And because this is a very clear indication, it's a practical science. We are devotees. Krishna consciousness is a practical science. Practically, we can apply these principles in our day-to-day life, and then we can see immense change and transformation in our heart and heart. Um, all the acharyas, right from Brahmaji, they have shown us the path of how to take this science of Krishna consciousness. Uh, then we see in Brahmaji's life, he clearly proclaiming that who is the source, who is the secondary creator. He is the one who has created this this unlimited universe. Actually, we don't know how many universes we have. We don't know how everything is working. We are very, very teeny. Our universe is very small. And within that, our Tampa, Memphis, or India, US, India, they're very small. So, like that, we have unlimited universes. That's all been managed by Brahmaji, not just this universe. There are so many universes. There's 14 planetary systems. That's all. He's the creator. He created all of them, and then he praying to the Lord that, my dear Lord, please protect me from false ego. I should never think that I should never be uh, in a puffed up state that I am doing this creation. Just see the gesture of this personality. This is a very soothing to the heart actually. Whenever I remember about this and think about this, it gives so much shelter and protection to the core of the heart. Why? Because that false ego, that is the one through which we came here actually, and that is the one which we need to correct. And that is the last thing which goes from this material consciousness and then the material realm. Until that is taken care, until that is gone, the progress or the sadhaka cannot actually go back home, back to Godhead. Because once that false ego is completely gone, he is under full shelter and protection of the Lord. That Jivara Swarupa Krishna Nityadas, he is always carrying that consciousness. That consciousness is carried when the propaganda of this business is removed from our heart. So Brahmaji is praying for that, praying to the Lord, my dear Lord, please help me, please protect me, so that I never think that I am doing this. I know you have given me this opportunity to do, but I should never proclaim that I am doing it. So this heart is being also present to us. We should never proclaim that I'm an engineer or a doctor, I'm this or that, so many other things. We are not that, dear devotees. That is only a gesture in this world. But we are not that. Neither a doctor, nor a psychiatrist, nor a physician, nor a software engineer, or some kind of mm, PhD holder. We are none of those things actually. I always think about this. What is that thing which is which is showing us, actually those are the obstructions which keep us away from the Lord. Just like the pastime of Indra yesterday, we all celebrated Govardhan Puja. What is the real celebration of Govardhan Puja? The real celebration of Govardhan Puja is not to cultivate that kind of consciousness. The Lord shows personally what not to cultivate and what to cultivate. What to cultivate is the people who are there under the Govardhan Giri, and then what not to cultivate is a person who is there above that Govardhan Giri. Who is a person above Govardhan Giri? Indra. We should not cultivate that consciousness. What is he cultivating? Enmity. Who towards whom? A small boy. He's thinking that this boy is actually, stealing my show, stealing my game. People are not worshipping me. Kanaka Kamini Pratishtha, they are not giving me that. So he's worried for that because he's kind of expecting that everyone should respect him, everyone should take care of him. But he's not the source for that. Just like Hiranyakashipu was also expecting that everyone should abide me, should worship me forcefully. So right now, at this particular instance, when Indra has seen that situation, it's a very clear indication. Our Acharya is very clearly to show the difference. We shouldn't cultivate the consciousness who is above that Govardhan Giri, but we should cultivate the consciousness which is under the Govardhan Giri. Who are under the Govardhan Giri? All the intimate devotees of the Lord. The Gopas, Gopabalas, the cows, the peacocks, so many. All those all those living entities, they have eternal relationship with the Lord. Now, one person might be closer to the Lord under Govardhan Giri. Other person might be too far away from the Lord. Doesn't matter, irrespective of the situation, time, place, circumstance, doesn't matter. Wherever he is, doesn't matter. They all have a deep relationship with the Lord. Now, what kind of relationship they have? They have a beautiful relationship. What in which plane it is? Completely selfless, which is the conception of the Ishvara. What is the Jiva? What is the Jiva is doing? Jiva is connecting to the Lord. Because what is he doing? He is giving all his independence. Is fully utilizing that independence for the pleasure of the Lord. The Jiva is not utilizing the independence for the pleasure of the Lord. What is he going to do? He will use the same independence for the material nature. Please try to understand. This is always a conflict. Should I take the association of the Ishvara or should I take the association of the Prakriti? Jiva is always in the dilemma. When actually Jiva will be in dilemma when he comes to Krishna consciousness. If he is not in Krishna consciousness, he is completely under the material shelter only. Because he actually doesn't understand that there is Jiva, that there is Ishvara, that there is Prakriti running. He simply is trying to enjoy or gratify his senses unlimitedly, which is more of a animalistic life. But after coming to Krishna consciousness, he'll try to figure out where to go, which shelter I need to take. Should I take the shelter of Ishvara or should I take the shelter of the Prakriti? But the persons who are there under Govardhan Giri, what are they doing? They're completely giving themselves for the pleasure of the Lord. This is pure. This is purity. This is actually pure devotion, pure devotional service. That's what they anchor. It doesn't matter if Krishna is there with somebody, it's with some Gopabala. They're not worried. Oh, Krishna is not there with me. They're not worried actually. Because in heart and heart, they're satisfied. Krishna has given me happiness. I'm satisfied with whatever he has given. They're simply completely absorbed in that only. If Krishna is not there, that's okay. If Krishna is there with me, I'm very happy. If Krishna is not there, I'm happy in separation. If Krishna is there with me, I'm happy in with me, with him. So that's how they are always completely absorbed in that consciousness. That means what are they giving? The complete independence is given. They're giving. I'm not taking that. But this is the nature. But the person who is there above Govardhan Giri, what is he manifesting? And what do we learn from him? This is the most important thing. Because after certain things, dear devotees, what happens? After certain things, after certain notions, after certain time staying in the moment, what happens is uh, we develop some kind of familiarity or complacent state that, oh, I have heard this, I've remembered this. No, hearing one thing, remembering one thing, but actually following is another thing. Following comes after a deep, staunch desire to actually accept the truth. So never ever proclaim. The mind will always constantly trouble us through this only. What the mind will trouble? Oh, I've already heard this. I've already remembered this. Oh, there is Ishvara, there is Jiva, there is Prakriti. Oh, I know these things. Knowing is one thing, dear devotee, but actually applying the truth requires mercy. It doesn't happen just like that. It requires mercy, unlimited mercy. That is why Samsaradava Nalalidalova Loka Tranaya Karunya Ghana Ganatva. That karunya, that mercy is actually descending. Whoever has, they have to carry the bowls. We should all carry the bowls. Bowls for what? Bowls for what? Bowls to carry the mercy, because the mercy is flooding. Mercy is coming. Whoever has bigger bowls. If we have a bigger bowl, we'll carry more mercy. But if the bowl has holes, then what happens? The mercy comes and then goes away. What is the hole? Familiarity. The hole is what? The hole in the ball is what? Represents a familiarity. That familiarity is actually key to actually go away, to actually take shelter of the material nature. Please try to understand. Material nature is always there. She is right next to Krishna. Just like Vyasadeva, by the mercy of Narada Muni, he has seen the Supreme Lord and also the material nature right next to each other. Supreme Lord is there, right next to her, material nature is also there. That means what is that? Seeing the Lord and the material nature simultaneously next to each other is what? It's a very deep principle, dear devotees. Seeing the Lord and the material nature right next to each other is what is when we perceive a thing in our life, or when we are doing a particular action. So before doing an action, we will think about that action twice or thrice. Should I do this or not? Through that thinking process, we will either take shelter of Ishvara, or we will either take shelter of the Prakriti. So taking shelter of Prakriti is actually associating with Prakriti. Taking shelter of the Lord and then trying to do for his happiness is actually taking association of Ishvara. So Krishna very clearly says, if you really want to come to me, you should do this. And then the first principle he says, Advaishta, that Indra was not carrying actually. Was a very clear indication. Because the moment he actually proclaims that not everyone stopped respecting me, and then they're respecting this other, a small boy, a person who came, his name is Krishna. They're respecting him. What is that? Immediately Dvesha manifested into the heart. So this is actually a representation of the conditioned soul in this world who do not have any connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now we might say that I do not have any dvesha towards the Supreme Lord directly. Okay, to the Supreme Lord we might not have dvesha, but we might have dvesha to his living entities. For example, somebody did not spoke to us nicely. Immediately, for example, you did so much welfare activity to them, but that person is not accepting in that way. So immediately what happens? Dvesha, envy will manifest in the heart. Why? Because he is not accepting. So the envy showing towards the conditioned souls of this world is actually a representation, is actually a mock representation of the envy towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because initially we had that, because we didn't want the Lord. That's why we are here actually. That's why staying here and then continuously we are suffering with so many things. Have to work very hard, 20, 12 hours, 10 hours, slog. And then at the end of the month, we get a salary. Again, with that salary, we pay our loans, this, that, so many other things. Put some money aside for the children education, do this, do that. So many complexities, complications in one's life. So what is this doing, dear devotees? When things do not manifest in our way, immediately envy manifests. The same thing which happened to Indra. Things were not going in his way. Immediately what happened? Dvesha came. And what he started doing? Torrentious rain, thunder, pouring, torrentious rain. This is actually the representation. For example, if a person is not, one second, one second. For example, a person is not congenial to us. Immediately what happens? Hatred feeling will come in the heart. Why are these manifesting? Because those things are already there in the heart. That's why they do manifest. The dvesha is not something new which is manifesting. That has been there since life after life, millions of lifetimes. Now we might not know we've been here for millions of lifetimes, but our action shows that we are here for millions of lifetimes. Because the gratification of our name fame, if that is not manifested, immediately we get dejected in this world. Everyone should respect us. Why they should respect us? We don't know. We have no reason why everyone should respect. Indra doesn't have a reason why everyone should respect him. No. He proclaims, he says that no, yes, they should respect me. They should respect me because I'm giving them water. No, he doesn't see that from where he got that. Brahmaji is seeing that. That's why Brahmaji is praying to the Lord. The acharyas profusely pray to the Lord. What are they doing? My dear Lord, please protect me from falsity. The falsification, I think that I am the controller, I am the maintainer, I am the proprietor of my family. I think that I am doing everything. I think that I think my child should come in this way. My wife should be like this. My children should be like this. My family should be like this. Everyone should be like this because this is what I'm thinking. What is this? What is this thing? This is called as proprietorship. This proprietorship was there for Indra. It was a troublesome proprietorship. But if you see the descendants, and if you see the all the descendants, right, like all the intimate associates of the Lord, they do not have any proprietorship. They are not worried what's going to happen to them. They're not worried of uh, of what kind of things would manifest in their life. No, they're not worried about them. Their worry is only one thing. Is Krishna happy or not? This is what connection to the Ishvara. That means the Jiva eternally connects to Ishvara. Jiva cannot be independent. It has to be connected to Ishvara or the material nature. If the Ishvara is not there, it will connect to material nature. That's how it's been designed. This is a beautiful design of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because that is out of his love, dear devotees. Because he wants relationship. Now you can ask the why he created us? Because of relationship. He created us for that. Because he is a loving father. He wants to reciprocate with his children. That's why he created us. He's a father. Just like we are a father, we have children, right? Don't we reciprocate with our children? Yes, we do reciprocate. Is that not there in our consciousness? Yes, it is there. Why it is there in our consciousness? Because Krishna has that consciousness. That's why we have that consciousness. Please try to understand. The relationships are actually established on this plane only because Krishna has those things. That's why we anchor for that relationship. Nobody purchases a home thinking that he'll die tomorrow. Nobody will do that. He will think that he'll be there in that home. He will never think that I'll die and so day. No, he'll not think like that. Why? Because that is the nature of this soul. Because he's eternal. Through eternality, what do they have? They have relationships. Don't we see the Lord having an intimate relationship with all the devotees? He is what that is the only moment, dear devotees. Actually, which is manifested to us. I should take that word back. The thing which is manifested to us, that is the only time which is manifested, which is visible to us through Bhagavatam, through the Acharyas, through their pastimes. Because if they did not give pastimes, what do we understand? We cannot understand anything. So through that intimacy, that is the only time where the Lord is present with every living entity. Every Jiva Lord is present. That means the Jiva is connected to Ishvara. That is spiritual. But that means their devotees, that consciousness can be established in Tampa and Memphis also, in our places also. How is that? How is that manifested? If we, as a Jiva, has a continuous, strong, staunch desire to connect to Ishvara at every moment in our life, that is spiritual world actually. Today in the morning we were discussing, we were sharing. So such a beautiful thing. What is that is the community is Srila Prabhupada and the pure devotees, pure Vaishnavas. They allow us to stay in that community. Is a place is what? That place is also spiritual world actually. Now, how is that place spiritual world? The consciousness wise, it is spiritual world only. If my consciousness is not correct, that is material world. If my consciousness is correct, that becomes spiritual world. That means at every moment, at every aspect, I continuously, not I means not just I, the jiva is continuously aspiring for that state of consciousness. Of consciousness of what? Staying with Ishvara. Now, who will give that staying with Ishvara continuously? Who will give that petrol or the power or the facility? The spiritual master gives. That is why spiritual master has been respected like that. Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Shastra. Uktastata Bhav Yata Evasa. That's why we are eternally grateful for them. Because I always think about myself. How? In this way. Because before coming to Krishna consciousness, after coming to Krishna consciousness, especially having taking good association, what is that? What is the difference? Because I don't know any of these things. How is this manifesting? Because it was only the mercy. That is what I say. Samsara dava naranitalo. Tanaya karanya ghana ganat. Indra didn't aspire for that. If we do not aspire for that, no matter how much wealth we gain, Indra is the source of heavenly planets. You know what the heavenly planets are? Bhagavatam explains. Bhagavatam explains about heavenly planets. So profound, unlimited. They live they live 10,000 years there. Profuse enjoyment. That person who is staying there, he doesn't aspire to develop this consciousness. Because there's so much opulences there. And there's so many jivas in this particular world, they aspire to go to heavenly planets. And he's a head for that. And that person couldn't understand the consciousness which is there for the devotees of the Lord. Material nature is very, very powerful. I always think about this. If Indra couldn't understand, how can we understand? Cannot understand. We think that we know, but we don't know. That is illusion. Knowing the thing which is not known, that is illusion actually. We think we think that we know, but we don't know. Same thing happened. What happened in Brahma Vimohan Lila? Discuss about that later. We'll just give a synopsis. Brahmaji was actually seeing this person, the small boy, feeding, giving exchange some. He's giving some bananas, giving some sweets, and Krishna is taking from the mouth of another devotee. Devotee is taking from the mouth of Krishna, and then he's eating. What is this? It bewilders the consciousness. Really bewilders. That's why it is Vimohana Leela, the Leela of bewilderment. So that bewilderment, what is happening there, dear devotees? Through that bewilderment, complete complete absorption of what it's is actually thinking what's happening here. If he is a supreme lord, how come supreme lord would do that? So it's very difficult to understand the tattva, the Krishna consciousness is very difficult. That's why the only hope and shelter for us is whatever our teachers, our superiors, whatever our acharyas are teaching us, if we take that as our life and soul, should take a vow. If we take that as our life and soul, and then try to act as per their instructions, then we will see the material nature and also Ishvara next to each other. That means the Lord, if I take this, then it is pleasing Lord. If I take this, it is not pleasing Lord. If I do this, it is pleasing the Lord. If I do this, it is not pleasing the Lord. Means Lord is not independent. Lord is always with his devotees. That's why that is also one of the reasons there is no quarrel actually. In 7 days, there is no quarrel among the devotees there. Because they have only one thing to do to please the Lord. That's their motive. They do not have anything else in their life. They're not running behind Dana, Jana, Sundari. No, it's nothing like that. Completely absorbed. Their heart and heart, that is what their life and soul is. They're free from all these inebrities of this world. Because the futility, if you actually technically see, the happiness, the little happiness which we get through this world is very, very limited. That's why material nature is actually, it's not that difficult also. There is Ishvara, there is Prakriti. In between, there is Jiva. The Jiva, if he has the clarity through the process of Shavana, through that process, what happens is the Jiva would immediately know if he is taking some shelter, he will understand that will not give happiness. That itself is a clear indication that he's on a material plane. Even the process of Krishna consciousness also, dear devotees. If we do not take it right way, then what happens? The Krishna consciousness also will not give happiness. That means if you are doing Krishna consciousness through some mixture, for example, there is sweet rice. You added some sand in that, and you give to the other person, Prabhu, please take this sweet rice. Immediately you would see there is sand in that. Can he accept it? He will not accept it. Likewise, Krishna consciousness is pure. It's like sweet rice. But if you are adding sand into that, sand is what? Attachments of this world, the dualities of this world. The moment we add that, the Krishna consciousness we cannot release that. That means the Nama, we cannot get the taste in the Nama because there are inebrities. The Nama, we can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but if the attachments are there, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will not give relishment. That has to be removed. One has to remove that sand and then he should eat sweet rice. And that removing of sand is actually the process of Shravana. 13.22, very beautiful, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead very beautifully is explaining that if you do this, actually we'll discuss on that, especially this Sunday. We'll try to discuss on this because, dear devotees, any tinge, any mixture, any mixture of anything which is not connected to Ishvara, we need to understand that will not give satisfaction to the heart. That means the process of Krishna consciousness, if that is not giving that relishment, means we need to beg for that, we need to pray for that, we need to cry out for that. Brahmaji is begging, Brahmaji is praying. What are we? What are we? I always think about this. Brahmaji is an exalted personality. His name is there, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Our Sampradaya is coming from Brahmaji. His name is there. He is praying to the Lord. My dear Lord, please protect. He is depending on the mercy of the Lord. Now, what to speak of us? Are we far more superior than him? Oh. So, what should be our attitude? Continuously, my dear Lord, please help. Please help, my dear Lord. No taste. I am chanting Hare Krishna every day, but no taste. Please help. Please help, dear Father. Please help. If a child is actually begging, is crying out for help, then he'll receive the help. He'll get that. But if the child is not doing that, he will not get that help. So we are like that child. That's what Prabhupada says. One should cry out like the child is crying out for the help of the mother. One should cry out for mercy. Just we need to aspire. We should never aspire for name, fame, profit, adoration. We never aspire for respect. We should give respect, but we should not expect for respect. Very, very important. But if a devotee is giving us respect, we should give it to our acharyas, to the spiritual master. Not accepting anything in return. This we need to meditate more and more. We need to understand this. That's what we learn through the principle of Govardhan Puja. There's so many beautiful lessons. I just took a couple of lessons from that. We'll discuss more on that. So many beautiful lessons. Now, there are beautiful lessons among Krishna and his associates when they're there together. What kind of lessons we can learn? We'll discuss some other time. But please try to understand. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma, they all go hand in hand. The Lord is never independent. The Lord always Lord is always independent. But the Lord always wants to be with us continuously. That's why He creates, even though He created this, He's always there with us. As Paramatma is sitting in our Hare. I'll stop here. Anyone has anything to add? Any questions? Any comments? Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All the to Srila Prabhu. Beautiful class, Prabhuji. I always have this doubt. I wanted to check as well, but you answered on how what should be the mood while we deal with the dependence. The dependence. So you answered that question. I have somehow with Lord's mercy, I have that feeling or that mood, consciousness that the dependents are actually close to Krishna. They are also have a separate, unique relationship with Krishna. But then, when situations come in, I have to check whether it's my consciousness is going to my false ego, where whatever I said is not being done, not getting done, or whether it's Krishna's arrangement testing me. So that critical fine line, I should always check. If I don't check and fall for my false ego, then obviously we know what's the result would be, end of it. But if I check and then if I try to check and remember acharyas on what they did, Srila Prabhupada, you gave an example. Many acharyas also give this example that Srila Prabhupada, when a father, when Prabhupada was not doing good, then he clearly explained, I don't want to respond in this way to you, but then I have to, otherwise you will be going away from you'll be different, basically. Sorry, I didn't explain it correctly, but that was so that example should always be running in my ears. That way I don't fall for my false ego at that moment, um, for fine line moment. It's I feel it difficult, Prabhu, but after the situation is done, after I come out of that situation, then I realize maybe I should have been checking my consciousness a bit early, something like that.
Actually, certain situations when they manifest and the results, when we see the results, then that is also one way to learn. Uh, just like uh, just like Indra, after performing that act, he realized that, oh, I made a mistake. Then he takes the shelter of the pure devotee, Mother Cow, and then Mother Cow takes him to Krishna, and then that's how he corrected himself. So we as a jiva, as a practitioners, we are trying to practice Krishna consciousness sincerely to the core of the heart. So when mistakes do happen, those are also good way to learn some lessons, and through those lessons, we will try to see that we don't repeat those things again. So just try. We should strive to not give discomforts to others through our own false ego, because the false ego is always there to tell us that, oh, I'm a devotee, or to tell us that I'm a doctor or a scientist or this that, so many other things. It will tell that I'm doing some some social welfare work. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So through that, what happens is generally the consciousness will be puffed up, and then we generally don't tend to hear from any superiors. That's one of the core problems in our society. One of the core problems is that the moment the devotee gets initiated, oh, that's it. He's a devotee. He'll not hear from anyone. He doesn't have a superior because he thinks that he's already a devotee. If a person is proclaiming and thinking that he's already a devotee, he will never hear from anyone else. Please try to understand that. So this is one of the serious problem which we are facing in the moment today, because everyone thinks that they're a devotee. That's the problem. Because they uh, because they do not aspire for pure devotion, because I'm already devotee. I'm already doing it. So the false ego will always keep the jiva in separation. He's thinking that he's there with Ishvara, but he technically is with Prakriti. So that's how the Prakriti will keep jiva aloof. Aloof in the sense away from the Lord. So this is a very, very important thing. We should actually think about this. Are Indra is going through suffering. Don't you think that that thing will not come to us? We're actually there in that only. But we don't realize. That's why we need relationship for this to understand. That's why I can't tell these things for a person whom I don't know, because I don't know how he'll take it. I can only tell to a person whom I have a relationship, whom I know that, oh, okay, if I tell this, they will accept. Otherwise, I cannot convey the message. And then the other person, he will think that, oh, I'm already devotee, he's doing an offense to me. And then he will not, hear, or he will not try to understand. So this is a problem. So this we need to, that's why having association is very important. And then the association should be in such a way that they should pull our false ego from our consciousness. This is a training actually. The false ego has to be pulled, because if I am checking my heart continuously to be free from false ego, that is what I'll tell. If I'm not checking my heart, how will I tell these things? I cannot tell these things. I'll tell some story, some pastime, and then tell that, oh, this is great. Oh, just see, the gopis are in separation of the Lord. Okay, gopis are in the separation of the Lord. What's in for me? Okay, gopis are in the separation of the Lord. They're in ecstatic love. They're crying out, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Yes, that is all good. But what's in for me? Now, how do I learn? What do I learn from that? How do I understand that? No, that is purest form of devotion. I'm a poor devotee. I'm not a pure devotee. Now, how this poor devotee will be transformed into pure devotee? That is what, for this we need training. For this we require the consciousness check. For this we require Krishna consciousness. For this we need Shravana. Karanam guna sangasha satasa janmayana. So otherwise what happens? The material nature, oh, very powerful actually. Without our endeavor, and do you know how great job she's doing? Without our endeavor, she's putting us here since millions of lifetimes. We don't realize that we are here since millions of lifetimes. You know what kind of technology she's using? Amazing, actually. We don't know. We are here since millions of lifetimes, doing the same thing again and again. Ahara, nidra, bhayam, aidunam cha. Everyone is doing this. Millions of lifetimes. Hare Krishna. Hats off to that material nature. But even more hats off to that is our acharyas, our spiritual master. Why? Because they show us this way. This is the right path. Take this path. Don't take the association of this material nature. Take the association of the Ishvara. Go, you belong to Ishvara. You don't belong to here. You belong there. You're the property of Krishna. You're his part and parcel. You don't belong to this world. You don't belong to this duality. It's not just you, your dependents also. Now, if a person has very intimate connection with his dependents, he will take his dependents also to Ishvara. This One should aspire more. And dear devotees, this is only one life. Aspire for pure devotion. Don't aspire anything else in this world. Aspire for that. One day you'll crack it. Aspire for that. Always think, always meditate. This is what you need to continuously absorb in this. You should always see not the person, what I say, what I said today, not the person. We should not aspire for the person who is there on top of Giri Govardhan, Indra. No, we should see the person who are there below. Correct. Very, very important. क्या लेके आए? The money, this, that, so many other things, they will not do. They will not give any benefit to us. It will not help us. We will not carry anything, even $1 also. While we left this body, not even $1 we can carry. We have whatever we have to live here only. So use it in the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Stop here. Thank you. Thank you all very much. If I caused an inconvenience to my words, please excuse me. Hare Krishna. No motive to cause an inconvenience to any one of you. Really wanted to present the truth as is. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Let us all offer our humble obeisances unto all Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like desires, can fulfill the desires of everyone. They are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu chitanam pavanebhyam Vaishnavibhyo namo namah Ananta Koti Vaishnava Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Jai Krishna.